What's up, my good friends? X-Men here, back again in work and shit. Yeah, man, I don't know if I mentioned that I would do a video to show y'all how my day goes on this new endeavor I'm on my newest American Trucking Simulator video I did. I explained that I was going through a job change, and yeah, this is basically it. So I'm gonna just summarize everything, all the new changes, and just know this is a big reason why those videos are coming out a little bit later than usual. And there might be some times where I might do a bulk section of videos in like 1 week, as opposed to 1 week not doing shit. You know, so one of the biggest changes from my last job is that I'm basically doing everything solo myself. I don't have a co-driver anymore. So that, man, you know, for one, I got to give a shout out to my co-driver, Jeff. Appreciate you, homie. Even though we're doing our own thing now, you know, things is definitely different. Because, you know, I'm starting to realize how much I kind of relied on my last co-driver. He was the one who did mainly all the planning, and, you know, he decided what time he would leave to head up to go pick up our trailer and stuff. And I ain't got that no more. I got to figure that shit all out on my own. And now 4 or 5 weeks in, I'm starting to really get it, you know, like, damn. Yeah, he did that shit to a T, and he knew how to plan well ahead of time. And of course, he had more experience before I even got started with him in the first place, but, you know, it just makes me appreciate it more, traveling with him and stuff. But that's a big change, you know. I got to go ahead and schedule and time. I have to sleep specific times so I can get to my trucking time, because that's another thing too. Our truck, when I was driving with my co-driver, I used to park the truck in my same city where I live. Now I park it in the next city over, which takes about like 30 minutes to get to, give or take which route I take. I could take, you know, the highway, which probably would be shave a little bit of time off. But where exactly I live, I have a state route that I can take directly to the main route that links to the place where I park my truck. So, you know, there's a couple different options here to shave off some time here and there. But, you know, that's also another thing I guess I got to consider too. You know, because I got to drive to the next city to pick up the truck. You know, so again, timing is the big thing. And now the big main meat of what has actually changed. So one of the biggest things I guess I did mention on the video is that I will no longer be unloading the trucks myself. Which, you know, thankfully that's kind of cool and shit and stuff, but considering how everything is going, you know, I kind of miss it. Man. There was a little bumpiness right there. Might be some more bumpiness coming up, but I got a nice new camera grip and stuff, phone grip, whatever you want to call it. And I do have my seatbelt on, y'all. It's just, I got an issue about seatbelts with long hair and stuff, you know. A lot of people, I guess, kind of understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't want it gripping on my shit, man. But yeah, like, so I'm not unloading the trucks anymore. But when I get to these stores, the ladies or the people who are supposed to unload the trucks are ladies. And it just makes me feel some type of way, man, because, like, in order just for a man like myself to stand around and watch a woman, you know, do the job that I used to do, it's alright, it's cool, especially when they use a pallet jack or electrical pallet jack. But there's one store that I got to go to later on today that doesn't use pallet jacks, or the store doesn't want the ladies, or they're just cheap as shit, man. And they make the ladies do the hard work. When there's literally dudes who work in the same department, in the same area, that walks around doing God knows what, but it's not as hard work as the ladies are doing. So, you know, I put myself out there to kind of help these ladies, and, you know, it's cool and shit, but, you know, I come back all sweaty and tired and extra tired and shit, man, because I usually have to start driving the night before. Right now it's 8 o'clock in the morning. normally would start driving around like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And that's in the truck. Once again, it takes 30 minutes for me to get to the truck. So that's on a normal day basis. But for this route that I have today, which takes me back home directly to my city, Port St. Lucie, the last store is in Stewart actually, but it's right off of US 1, or the same route that I could take to go pick up my truck. And this route, guys, 3 stores, Melbourne, Vero, and Stewart, it's the one that's usually the longest. And if I start from home, for me to get to the pickup spot, the DC or the distribution center to grab my trailer to deliver, it takes 4 hours to get there. So, and you know, alright, so yeah, it takes 4 hours to get to Lake City. Now to get from Lake City or the distribution center to my first store, which is on this route that I usually get all the time, it takes about 3 hours and some change. Now, if y'all know about the clocks that we have to abide by, you have 8 hours before you have to take a break. Now, I've been very lucky or very fortunate that I don't usually have to take breaks before I get to my first store. You know, I can take my break once I get to my first store, put myself off duty, and by the time they're done unloading, I'm ready to go off to my next store. It's been at least 30 minutes. But, you know, considering on some days where traffic could be a little extreme, you know, it could be a little iffy. It could be a little bit tight. And again, too, like to start from home and then run to Lake City and then run down to Melbourne, my first store, that shit is very tiring. Very tiring. That's another big thing I've been noticing with the lack of my co-driver, that, you know, the workload that we share, it was a whole lot more easier on us. So even though this is kind of the route that I was always expecting to go at some point in the future, talking about, or specifically talking about driving solo, you know, yeah, it's an eye-opener kind of in a way. Man, it is, but I love it. I'm enjoying it. You know, it's really easy, really freaking easy. I mean, you basically just drive from point A to point B, kind of like my last one, except I did have to unload the trailers. And depending on how well the trailer was driven, you know, some things could be turned over inside the trailer, making your day go a hell of a lot longer. And, you know, shit like that would happen. So I ain't got to deal with that no more. And, you know, even though I don't personally have to deal with it anymore, it seems like the people who unload the truck too, they don't have to deal with it anymore either, because this company uses proper equipment. They use a divider in between the lanes, the 2 sides of the trailer, where you can have, you know, you can stick pallets on both sides to kind of like help with space and shit and weight distribution. They keep a divider in the middle, so there's no way for the pallets to actually lean too far over to one side and fall over, which is excellent, you know. But again, I don't have to unload the trailer anywhere. But yeah, guys, that's basically what I'm dealing with. Today was a little more easier because I had such a short run yesterday that I could have chose to came home, or I could have chose to, you know, what I did, which is basically drive as close to the DC as I can. This way I can have an easy head start for today's run. Like I said, you know, it takes 4 hours to get to the DC and 4 hours back. So from my last store from yesterday, it would have took probably like an hour and some change to get to the DC. And I didn't go directly to the DC. I just stopped at a truck stop and posted up for, like, you know, the rest of the day. And so I actually had to pick up, which was 3 o'clock. So I had a whole lot of chill time, you know. So again, that's another optional thing I get to do that makes me feel more in control. And it's really cool, man. I appreciate it. I love it. But yeah, you know, if I chose to go home, you know, coffee would have been the thing. big thing, you know. I've been relying on coffee heavy, trying to figure out what's the best option to do, you know, when it comes to doing these loads. But I see how it basically is after, 5 weeks in. They try to get me home as much as possible, and I'm pretty much home on a daily basis. It's just that if I do get a small run, or like a run that's like half of what I usually would have, like which is for today, to make it easier on myself, it's probably best for me to finish that load for the day and drive as close to the DC as possible. This way, for this run, which again I normally get, I can be alert and awake, because guys, one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, handling all of this shit by yourself, it can get a little tiring. Definitely can. And I know by the time I'm done with today, even though I got myself a head start, probably going to be somewhat worn out a little bit, and it's been making me think a lot about shit lately. When you're really busy to the point where you barely have time to do anything for yourself, it brings me back to a state where I was at a long time ago, probably not too long ago, when I first came into what I call, I really don't know what to call it, but I came upon a lot of knowledge around 2016, 2015, and I actually went vegan for a good portion of the year, at least half a year. And I don't know if any of y'all know about this, but when you keep yourself clean and you're highly focused and you don't have none of that shit in your gut, that also affects your mind. Because another thing, I don't know if y'all been noticing or hearing lately, a lot of people, a lot of scientists are starting to understand that there's a second brain. There's two brains that we have, and the second one is in your stomach. Food really affects how we act and how we think, of course, throughout the day, whether y'all realize that or not. And another thing I just learned just yesterday, the time or the first thing that you eat during that day, no matter what time it is, the first time you eat, that sets up your whole day. It really does, because if you decide to eat something bad for the first time during that day, your gut, the bacteria in your gut is going to be acclimated to trying to deal with that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if you go light and you go easy and you go more healthy on the first time you eat during the day, your gut again will be more acclimated to dealing with that. And there's the science to it, y'all. It's freaking dope. It's freaking cool, man. And me doing this shit solo driving, it has made me be a lot more aware. And it just reminded me of the times where I first came up on this knowledge. I slacked off for a couple of reasons, but I'm slowly getting myself back there, because why not? Another thing, I'm getting older too, and as you get older, you want to make sure you keep yourself in good condition, because a lot of things might not work the same way. You know what I'm saying? Just putting that out there. Anyways, guys, I wanted this to be kind of like a talk where I kind of showed y'all the ins and outs of my job, and also some metaphysical stuff that I've been on lately, because I've been listening a lot, I've been driving a lot, and I've also had time to myself a lot, and that just puts me in a position where I wish a lot of people were in, I wish a lot of people were in and could reap the benefits from doing this, This is why I also want to spread this peace. Now, of course, he's probably not going to see this, but I got to give a shout out to one of the people who I listen to pretty much on a daily. Literally the only person's voice who I look forward to hearing on a daily basis. It's a man. I look forward to hearing one man's voice every single day of my life. And that man is Ralph Smart. Now, if none of y'all know who Ralph Smart is, y'all need to go peep him out now. And I'm going to go ahead and put this out there, because it seems to faze a lot of people. But don't be caught off by his demeanor. You know, he might seem like he might be a little too nice, maybe too soft, as some channels put it, you know, but that you shouldn't let shit like that phase you as to like listening to the message. You gotta listen to the message. Everything shouldn't be about toughness nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So, but Ralph Smart, man, when I hear this man's voice, it ain't nothing but enlightenment. And how he does his videos sometimes is also like, he starts out by saying, let me give you this good energy, and he be using some hand gestures and shit, and I really be feel like I be getting hit by that shit, yo. Like seriously, I could be in some nasty ass traffic, put on Ralph Smart, and then man, I feel like I'm being hugged, shit. Like seriously, hugged by light. I wish to aspire to be like that to some of y'all. And that was the main motivation of even doing some of these videos in the first place. Even these gaming videos. You know, it really makes me think. Once again, I've been thinking a lot lately about a lot of shit. And I just want y'all to really understand and know that, you know, this person that y'all look and listen to, and y'all see him do these videos, even though he curses a lot, man, there's you know, there's a lot of light and goodness in this person that y'all looking at and y'all hearing right now, man. And I just don't want y'all to be mistaken and disregarded or misled with how I choose to express myself, you know, because expression, it should be very unique and it should be different. It should be different. It really, you know, it really all comes as a collaboration of what you've been through in life and just how you go about life. I kind of touched about this in my American Trucking Simulator video as well, but yeah, y'all, I just, man, the main message, I guess, of what I'm trying to say right now is make sure y'all are in tune with yourself, man. Make sure you pay attention because a lot of things is changing right now. A lot of things is definitely changing. And again, this is another thing I kind of tried to touch up on the last video, the ATS video, which is how I could feel changes in the world. Ralph Smart also gave a talk about that not too long ago, but yeah, it's another video that I remember hearing about and also being able to relate with. That's another reason why I'm bringing him up in the first place, because there's a lot of similarities on how we see life, you know, and nobody's saying that we got the full answers to things. It's just that, man, always ask questions, never dwell on what somebody says, you know, especially with this COVID shit. You know, it's funny, man, I gotta keep bringing up a lot of this man's things that he says, but it's Omicron shit. It's an allegory for moronic, meaning that if you believe this shit, that's basically what you are. And I kind of felt that way with COVID from the get-go. I don't even know if I got COVID before, because again, on the ATS video, I said that I could have been like one of the first people to ever capture that shit, and it wasn't really nothing like a big deal. But you know, it's different for everybody. Again, you know, you just got to be careful, protect yourself, keep your hygiene up, but don't get scared. Don't get scared and don't listen to what the public is saying, because one thing I gotta say about this shit, this new variant, this shit might be all over the place. Just listen to me, y'all. One thing I gotta say about this Omicron shit, if y'all freaked out about it, I gotta chill, because the original person who found it was in Africa, and what they described the symptoms to be like were just mild. That's it. It's mild-like symptoms. So as soon as America heard it, they started blowing this shit out of proportions, and y'all can see that shit now to this day, to this moment. And I don't want y'all to be scared, because being scared about something that you're not sure about, it could have drastic consequences on you if you are not in a certain mindset. Now, I know I was going to touch up on this a little bit later. Maybe I can add this video into this, what I was trying to do, with going on into more deeper metaphysical stuff. But you know, just on a real note, man, I feel like I need a little more time before I actually do this shit. Because, for one, before I even give a video like that, with metaphysical tendencies, I just want y'all to know for a fact, for 100% fact, even 200, 300%, that I have to be in a certain mindset. I have to be clean in a mental state for me to even try giving something like that. So, and I understand the importance of that, because even more now, because once again, with the food, being a truck driver and eating healthy is kind of a feasible task. You know, oh man, this makes me think, y'all, man, damn. Really makes me think, because as I said yesterday, or how my day went yesterday, I finished that quick load. And then I posted up at this truck stop at a Love's, closest to the distribution center where I gotta go pick up and swap the trailers out. And there was this chick that came up to me. Now, it's not like a chick who I would like try to talk to. It's a stud. It's definitely a gay chick. She had a tank top on. She had the dreads all kind of like bum, you know, in a bun, and kind of back with a fade cut and all of this. I'm like, damn. And she was sagging a little bit. I seen her boxers. I'm like, damn. Alright, but this chick was so much on me, like, I came out the bathroom, y'all. Like, I had to take a privacy moment. You know, man, you know, oh my God, just dealing with truck stops, period. It just makes me, it brings me back to old times when I first started, because that shit could get a little stressful. It can. Just dealing with the other truck stops or truckers who gotta stop there. But yeah, this chick, man, it shouldn't have bothered me, but it kind of did. But it seems like she was trying to size me up a little bit. She was asking question after question after question. Like, and her reactions to the answers I was giving her was like, it was standoffish. It was standoffish, like she's onto something better, you know, like. And of course I let the shit go. It's kind of cool in a way too, because what mainly stood out to me, or I guess what stood out to her for me, was that I was trying to eat right. I picked me up a salad, was grabbing some salad dressing, and she was in the store just waiting to go into the register, get checked out with whatever she was getting. But she was eating a salad right there, you know, in front of everybody. You know, I'd be a little more courteous and shit, and be a little more bashful, I guess, you know, but it just goes to show, man, just how some people just are nowadays. But I don't know, the shit fucked with me a little bit, because another question that she asked me is if I have my own truck, or if I'm an owner operator, or if I'm a company driver and stuff. And if I can remember correctly, what she said she was a company driver. So I feel very strongly that she was kind of like trying to see if she was in a better position than me. And you know, again, shit like that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. I know how to handle shit like that very well. Very well, be it a man or a female. But I, you know, honestly, really thinking about it again, I just got my ass up from a quick ass nap, probably a 30-minute nap, because by the time I got to that truck stop, I threw on the switch to play Resident Evil 6 for just, you know, 30 minutes. I'm saying 30 minutes because, like, that's how long I lasted before my ass passed the hell out. And when I woke up, I was like, shit, I'm thirsty, and I need to top up my water. So I went inside, you know, used the restroom, and then, yeah, all of a sudden this chick is coming at me with hundreds of questions and shit. So, like, you know, I wasn't ready for one. And I guess what's making me feel off about the whole thing is that, yeah, I guess I wasn't replying in a timely manner. You know, I felt like I was off and shit. But again, you know, when I look back and reflect on it, it ain't nothing, man. The chick was just asking me questions and shit. But, you know, man, again, y'all, if y'all getting into this trucking field, man, take your time. Be very cautious with people in the truck stop, and you know, don't let anybody get to you, man. That's the main thing. Don't let anybody get to y'all. Anyways, I'm pulling off into my second store. I got one more store after this, which is the closest to home, and I'm gonna go ahead and probably throw the camera on the front so y'all can see, you know, just me riding and shit. Cause yeah, I bought me a new camera setup for that, and yeah, expect more videos like this to come. But yeah, I gotta get off this damn interstate real quick. I'll touch back with y'all in a few. Alright. Man, you know what, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and give this store a little bit of time because I know I'm probably early as fuck. Maybe I might. I don't know. It's approaching 9 o'clock. They ass should be up and ready, but usually every time I pull up to the store, they usually open up the door before I can even back in, or before I can even open up my trailer doors. And I haven't heard nothing yet, so I have a feeling they either are in a crappy ass mood or just some bullshit. They probably got some little delay going on. So I kind of wanted to show y'all the inside of the truck for a minute. This again is my baby. Thank you again, boss man, Gilbert. Yo, I appreciate this opportunity. And yeah, one day I might buy this truck off of you, but until then, like, I'm still gonna show y'all the ins and outs. So for one starting thing, I gotta show y'all this shit right here. So y'all can see this is a 13 speed. It's a 13 speed. 13 speeds work a little bit different than your regular traditional 10 speed. You still have this, which is normal on a 10 speed, but you also have this. So basically, once you're switching through all the normal first gears, you flick this up to get to the second set of gears. But before you switch gears in the second set of gears, you have to flick this thing forward, and then you have to flick it back, you know, before you switch over to the next one. It's kind of a little finicky. Again, there's a diagram for it, but basically, in a nutshell, what you do is, once you get to a high RPM in the higher tier gear, you flick the red thing forward, you let off on the gas, and then bam, it's in the higher gear. And then when you're ready to switch over to the next higher gear, you flick it backwards, let off the gas again, and there goes that little thing again. All right, so I'm ready to go in. Let me go ahead and unload the store, and I'll show you the outside of the truck. All right, see you on the back. All right, my good friends, I am done with that store. All right, and man, I just got a beautiful, nice ass call from my manager and my boss. That's explaining how things is gonna work going forward, and it's just some shit I needed to hear, because honestly, as far as like payment and shit goes, like I wasn't completely sure how everything was gonna go. But y'all, check out my truck, man. Check it out. Let's get a good front view of this shit. Let's get a good front view of it before we head out. Cause I got one more store to go. But yep, Freightliner Columbia, man. That's me, y'all. Hey. Alright. Anyways, I wanted to show y'all one more thing about this. I might get a little loud showing y'all this, so let me make sure I got my mic close. But yeah, one thing about this truck that I like is the wheelbase. So basically the wheelbase is the front wheel all the way to the back rear wheels, which is a whole lot longer, and I think you could do it like that by a longer frame, but it's also a little bit longer because of the fifth wheel. The fifth wheel is basically kind of on its last little parts, and I never drove a truck with it all the way that far back, but to me it seems to do just perfectly fine. And as far as like turning radiuses and all of that, it's excellent. Just felt like I needed to show that. So yeah, back on the inside, yeah, it's pretty basic. It's got this nice little blue accent to everything, which I'm not honestly too fond of, but hey, you know, it works. Let me get from point A to point B safely and sound. That's all that matters. Right. So I'm gonna have to pull out this dock real quick, and I gotta close those trailer doors and put on this new seal, and I'm gonna head on to my last one. last store, which is probably like 20, 30 minutes away. And also, yeah, I'm gonna call it a wrap for today. And I'm actually gonna be off tomorrow too, so even better, even freaking better. Let me go ahead and sweep this thing around real quick. It's starting to get hot out here. It really is. Take off this damn jacket, actually. But this freaking Florida weather, man, it's starting to like bother the shit out of me, man. Actually, it has been bothering the shit out of me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Come with me while I close these doors right quick. Yup. Nice little Target trailer and shits. Nice little Target trailer. You know, another thing we gotta actually do is make sure the reefer, which is basically the trailer that has an air conditioning, multiple air conditioning units inside of it in order to keep their product temperature controlled. And honestly, guys, before I started driving for this side of the company, I had no idea Target really dealt with food as much as it really does. But that's basically what I'm loading and unloading and delivering food, just like my last company. Oh fuck, I forgot the damn seal. See, man, me trying to do this YouTube shit, it's not cutting it, man. It's not cutting it. Making me lose focus about shit, man. Alright, that's gonna have to do for, alright, that's not gonna be able to do. Alright, that'll do. Alright, let me go ahead and get this damn seal and I'll see you on the bit. Shit, man. Damn. Okay, alright. So, I just noticed that my phone actually tells me that, hey, you started recording with the mic in. I hope you know that. Never realized that before. Anyways, yeah, we're pulling out of this back of this Target store. Which you can see that dock to the right there, that first one. That's where I actually pulled out of. It's kind of not easy for me to, I mean, I guess I could if I put a little more effort into capturing how it is to back in and out of these docks. You know, I can set up the camera before time, but I'm not that invested right now. And besides, if y'all need to see anything like that, y'all can go ahead and watch somebody else's channel. But right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and rock with y'all until we get to my last store, which is in Stewart. This one is another. Actually, this store that we're heading to right now, I actually have to do a blind side, and yeah, I've been very, very fortunate and lucky and every single time pulling into the store, because it's not that hard of a blind side. You just have to set yourself up right. But the first time I did it, I nailed it. And I nailed it every single time to the point where the store knows that I'm a boss, you know, and you know, the perks that come with that, it's cool, it's cool. But there's also been times where, you know, I had to pull up a few times too and make some same people be like, yo, what happened, dude? Nah, it's a freaking blindside. They know how shit goes with blindsides. I'm pretty sure other truck drivers might struggle with it. Might not. It really depends on the driver. But yeah, let me go ahead and show y'all this damn traffic. I hope to God we don't catch anything ridiculous on camera, but if we do, man, just understand that it's the morning. It's morning right now. It's early. People are still trying to get their shits together and stuffs, you know, including myself. Now, I've been having my shit together since last night. It better be put together. What the fuck am I talking about? Anyways, you know, this is kind of like the middle part of the video. I just want to give a quick shout out real quick to two people. One, my sister. I love you very much, my dear. Last night you told me that you were sick, but I've been thinking very heavily about you lately when it comes to the working field. But before I even get to that, another person I'd like to give a shout out to is my homeboy King Pitbull. And damn, just thinking about it, you know, if I'm going to give my homie a King Pitbull a shout out, I got to give my other homie, my other homies, Keith and Kane. You know, I gotta give y'all both a shout out, man. Man, forgive me for including just y'all too, man. I know there's a crap load of y'all brothers and shit, man, but yeah, Keith and Contrell, man, my niggas, I love y'all, and I fucking miss y'all. And I mainly also wanted to point out King Pitbull, because King Pitbull, he's stressing himself, thinking if he should join the party, he should join the party. You know, you should I think he totally should, but you know, my boy's married and shit. He's got a wife, and in order for him to like take some time off to actually get some time under your belt, without having to pay a hefty fine right off the bat, as far as like getting your CDL and stuff goes, you know, you might have to do and take some time away from family, which, you know, to me, that's, yeah, no, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not. I done put almost 5 years of my time in order to be where I'm at right now, and I'm able to do a local route, which I see is not a common thing when it comes to truck drivers and stuff. It doesn't seem to be a common thing. So I'm very appreciative that I have something like this. But yeah, I kind of wanted to mention basically my sister and my homie King Pitbull, because yeah, when it comes to the working field and stuff, you know, like, shit could be a little messed up for people, man, depending on the routes and stuff you did in life. And I think, you know, just even thinking about myself, I have things kind of easy because of the route, and there's the CDL license that I have under my belt, and also the people who unload the trucks inside these Target stores, man. I see great potential in all of them. And because, you know, when it comes to working a regular 9-to-5 job nowadays, man, this shit is very stressful. For one, you can totally be doing a lot more with that time. As far as, you know, like even when it comes to making money and stuff, man. So it just really makes me think a lot about my sister and my homie, who I've been, you know, spending some of my gaming time with. Yeah, y'all should definitely think about jumping on this bandwagon, because even just throwing it out there for anybody who has any felonies or anything like that, any issues with the criminal justice system, don't think that just because you have some kind of issue that nobody's going to hire you. If you believe that, or if any part of your mind believes that, that's probably what you're going to experience. So you got to get rid of that thought, for one, and actually believe that you'll actually be able to do whatever the fuck you want. You just got to put your mind to it and efforts with that belief and hope thing that I kind of mentioned. You know, when it comes to that second Guided by the Sevens video I did, that it's still cringeworthy for me. I've been fighting myself not to take it off the channel and delete it, especially with some of the Facebook comments that some people gave me. You know, when I advertised that shit. You know, it really astounds me a little bit. But now, you know, you can't. You gotta always believe that some people is not going to like what you do, regardless. You know, so. I didn't buckle. My shit is still up there, and it still holds some gems. But you know that I touched on something with belief and hope that I probably should go a little more into, and that's the reason why it's a little cringeworthy for me, because I could have definitely went a little more into detail, a lot more into detail. But yeah, there's something that happens when you actually have belief and hope in something that you have belief and hope in. This world that we live in, guys, I've been fighting myself on how to properly explain this shit to you, but this shit, man, to me, it's real, but then again, it's not real. And probably to be a little more specific, because that's what I'm struggling with, trying to give you the right words of what I mean about this world that we live in. It's almost like a game. It really is like a video game, because not only are there levels to this shit, but in order for you to get from one level to another level in a game, You know how you have to find sometimes the right item? You might have to find the right power-up, and then eventually when you get to the end of the stage, you might have to go back and revisit what you learned in order to get past either a boss or some kind of platforming, just something like that, guys. That's basically how life is and how I see it at this point. Because life will throw some things at you when it comes to patience and where you put your attention at. And man, I hope I can break this shit off right to y'all, because I feel like I'm slipping this shit. You know what? Hold up. Let me set my GPS shit right first. Hold up. I didn't even set that right. Even though I know where the fuck we're going, it's just, something about comfort and having the GPS be your second backup guide where you need to go. We're getting on the interstate again right here, going southbound. Nigga, you know where we're going. We damn near close to your house, dude. Come on, X. Yeah, nah, man. But let me rephrase a little bit of what I said. The world is basically like the damn Matrix and shit, man. Usually the options that seem obvious sometimes to you are the routes that usually people tend to take. But usually the routes that people don't tend to take, there might be something in it, and there's a reason why people don't go for it. And I believe that reason is because there's a bigger, deeper thing at play that something doesn't want us to be able to experience or realize. And be it whatever those things are, I believe they might be tied into what I'm talking about in this paranormal stuff. And I talk about that. But I just know for a fact that there's a force out there that is controlling a lot of masses of people by many different avenues. But it's really when you lose sense of who you actually are. So let me give you an example. There's people who aspire to be rappers and stuff in this world. People who aspire to be, just to be something that they see somebody else do, And if it just stems off of that and not a genuine interest or from what you want, that whole thought of jealousy or that whole thing of jealousy or envy, it builds up in energy. And this energy, man, it like fucks with people if you're not aware of it. So I just want y'all to realize, and y'all could easily see it. Y'all don't need me to fucking tell y'all. If y'all are here listening to this far into this video, something is off with this world. And there definitely is. And it's not just from what I just said, what people just aspire to be. But the motivations and the reasons why people do what they do, something's off about it. And that's why I stress even more to become in tune with yourself. Focus on what you think you should do, and don't try to follow off of somebody else's success or what you think their success is. Because I'll tell you this, if they expressing this shit on some kind of media platform of how good their life is and stuff like that, it totally might be the opposite. It really might. Life is weird, man. Life is very weird. And guys, again, I struggle with trying to tell you this while I'm driving to my next door. Don't worry, I definitely I have good control and focus on what I'm looking at, and as far as like driving a truck. But as far as trying to wrap my mind around the right things to say to y'all about this, it's kind of like fucking with me a little bit. I might have to stop this truck in order to really get on point, but I'm still going to push forth regardless. Again, this world is very, very weird, very odd. But basically all I can say at this point is that you got to follow what's right within your heart, what's right within you, whatever calls out to you. From as early as I can remember, I've always felt like I was very different, meaning that I never really fit in with anybody, because I always, I never really followed the crowd. And let me just go ahead and give it by my example. The crowd was always people who wanted to be cool by either doing whatever they thought was cool at the time, which was wearing clothes a certain way, smoking certain things, doing certain things, and even having as many women as you can, or having as many as the opposite sex as you can. That was deemed cool, and that was something that I never rocked with, And as time went on, I slowly kind of gave into wanting that coolness, because I was always around it in times. So I'm not going to say that I've always, tended to be myself 100%. Going throughout life, you have to experience, and I'm not talking about no specific times. Let's not get shit twisted. But yeah, I'm just saying the times where I actually did experiment on the things where I thought people just wanted to do just to be cool, I've learned very valuable lessons. And lessons enough to show me, and lessons enough sequentially or consistently to the point where I know, something's fucked up about this shit. Why people want to do this, And it's really when you lose touch of what's really inside. Something with peace, something with that you can only build up when you tone into yourself. And I think you can only get that, do that, is when you spend time with yourself and you do the things that really you love to do. And so for me, for example, y'all already know, I love to play games. I've said this hundreds of times. Something happens to me when I play games from time to time. Even nowadays, when I play a game, it's not like I'm just sitting there playing a game for what the developer made and what the developer or the creator wanted me to experience. Things come to me when I'm playing those games that make me related to life events and things that happen, things that could happen in the future, shit like that. And I would catch myself pausing for a moment, just thinking about these relations or how these things relate to each other, from like the life events to the game things or the game events, and even still to this day, like things stick out. I really wish I could remember what I was thinking about yesterday when I was playing that damn crazy ass game, Resident Evil 6. But maybe it might come up later. I kind of really want to show some footage of that game, because maybe this shit might be funny to y'all or not, but I was playing Resident Evil 6, like I said, after my shift. I had a whole lot of time to myself. And you know how I do these gaming videos. I basically give a commentary of how I would normally experience it. There was nothing for me to record on yesterday, but during the whole time I was playing that game, I was talking the whole time to myself. I was like, holy shit, who the fuck? And like the shit that I was experiencing, I would it would be like what I would hear in one of the videos that I would do even nowadays. So I don't know if any of y'all are like that, but if I'm doing something like that, even within my own time, in my own, in my own space, I loved it. I love to do something like that. I mean, it's something that I like to do. Just right off the bat, from expressing myself, just playing this shit. Now, I'm totally losing myself. Yeah, I'm totally losing track. This is what y'all need to find yourselves, man. The shit that makes y'all want to talk to yourself. The shit that makes you want to express yourself. Now, it makes me a little cautious in saying that, because even I know a lot of y'all would probably agree. There's probably a lot of people. I really hope not a lot, but there's a lot of there's people out there that don't have a moral compass, meaning that they can't tell, they don't know what's right from wrong. Now, if that's you, you don't know what's right and wrong, I really honestly don't know what to tell you other than you probably should need to find out from somebody else, but the reason why I'm kind of like stumbling on this is because there's a certain type of people that's called that, and certain groups of people call these people that don't have a moral compass soulless beings, meaning that they don't have no purpose in life. Their only purpose in life is just to fuck up other people's lives or just make shit harder for people. Now, I struggle to believe and adhere to that. It sounds very derogatory for one, but it really makes me think about shit too, because I've came across people like that. The woman who I was talking about earlier, I have not a doubt in my mind that she's not that. I don't know if I said that right, but I'm not trying to say that the woman I was talking about earlier at the truck stop, she's not a soulless being. I'm pretty sure she's a person who has good intentions from time to time, but she definitely came off narcissistic. Absolutely. But I'm talking about people who are classified killers, soulless killers, like serial killers who have no regard for life. And not even the people who are not killers, just the people who couldn't give a fuck less about the next person. Those people make me question that. And, when I think about it on a deeper note, like as far as like doing the things that you love, it makes it hard for me to think and wrap my head around what would these people do when they're home alone by themselves. What would these people do on free time? Hold up a second, I know y'all see that traffic right there. Is that all cops? That's totally all cops right there. Yes, man, they totally seem like they're ready for action. Alright, yeah. It really makes me think what those people would do back at home and stuff, I don't know, but anyways, the main gist is to be cautious and be aware, because there are people out there like that. And if you fall in for idolizing something like that, you gotta be careful. You gotta definitely be careful. And I guess another thing to go along with that, I'm sorry guys, I know this talk is all over the goddamn place. This is what happens when you try to do a video while you're driving, just so y'all know. And you might be a little sleep deprived, maybe just a little bit. But yeah, alright my friends, so I totally messed up on that recording. I actually stopped abruptly and I didn't realize it until it was too late. But it stopped abruptly because of storage space. But here I am at the end of actually editing this video, and I'm just gonna go ahead and add the snippet here. Just want to say thank you guys for listening and watching so far. This video was definitely all over the place, but stay tuned. I feel very heavily that I'm not going to get better unless I keep doing these videos, regardless of what format I do them in. So if y'all rocking with me, continue rocking with me, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Until then, y'all, stay peaceful and positive as always. X out.